to YouTube with your bestie. It's time to do some math. We're going to do one-step equations. One-step equations are super cool because they're only one step. And we're going to start off kind of easy. Addition and subtraction. So, follow along, practice some problems, and you will do awesome!
Okay, welcome back with YouTube with Lubelski. Today we're going to be doing one-step equations with integers. This just means that we're not going to be messing around with any decimals or fractions, and we're going to just keep it simple for now. And so it says solve each equation, and so hopefully some of you are familiar with this. Whenever we're trying to solve equations, we are going to move everything away from the variable. So let me pull up my red pen. Our variable in this equation is x, so I want to get everything onto the opposite side away from the x. It's called isolating that variable. And so to do that, we're going to see what do we have, and in this case we have that plus 9. We want to move that away so x is all by itself. So in order to move the 9, we can't just make it disappear. We actually have to put it on the other side of the equation. And so I'm always going to draw my line down the center of my equal sign. And in previous times, I've told my students, I learned this from another student that came to me, that there's a muscle man, and our muscle man is trying to make sure everything stays balanced and even. So what we do to one side of an equation, we're always going to do to the other, because if you're lifting weights and you're trying to build those muscles up, you're always going to do the same amount of reps on each side so that you stay even. So what we're going to do is, if I want this plus 9 to go to the other side, I'm actually going to do the opposite, which is subtracting. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, because what I do to one side of the muscle man, I have to do to the other, and that way they stay even. So at plus 9 minus 9 gets rid of that. That is now 0. That's gone. And all that's left is my x. I didn't touch my x, so I'm going to drop it down. I like to draw the arrow there so I remember that that's what I need to do. So x. And then I'm going to drop my equal sign down as well. And then on the other side, let's do the math. 12 minus 9 is 3. So that means that my answer is x equals 3. Now the way you check this is plugging it back into the original. So my original was x plus 9 equals 12. If instead of the x, I put a 3, so 3 plus 9 equals 12, is that a true statement? Well, 3 plus 9 is indeed 12. So if it ends up being correct, boom, we found the correct answer. That's as simple as it gets. All you have to do. These are one-step equations because, as you saw, all we had to do was do the one step, which was the subtract 9. Number 2, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find our variable, which in this case is s. And then I've got a minus 1. I always want to remember to put my line down the center of the equal sign so that I know I'm trying to get everything away from it. In this case, because our s is on the left, I'm going to go ahead and put everything else on the right-hand side, our constants, okay? So minus 1, the opposite of that is plus 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides of my muscle man. My s I didn't touch. My minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So I'm left with s, drop my equal sign down, 10 plus 1 is 11. Again, if we plug that in, instead of s, I'm going to plug in 11. Minus 1 equals 10. 11 minus 1 equals 10. That is a true statement, so we did find the correct answer. So that's all we have to do for those one-step equations if we're adding and subtracting, and if there is no coefficient before that s. So let's do questions 3 and 4, and then I'm going to let you do it on your own. So again, we're identifying where the variable is. Now in this case, the variable's on the right-hand side. Now you could choose to rewrite this. If you like the variable being on the left-hand side, you could rewrite the entire problem as z minus 11 equals 3. As long as you take everything from one side and flip it with everything from the other side, it's still true. It's kind of like an addition problem where you can flip the numbers, and it's just like that for the equal sign. You have to move everything on the left to the right and everything on the right to the left. So I personally don't want to rewrite it typically because it's just an extra step that's unnecessary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for what my opposite is of whatever it is that's attached to the z. So it's a minus 11, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is add 11 to both sides, because we always want to change both sides of the equation. And minus 11 plus 11 cancels out to be 0. I'm left with my z equals 3 plus 11 is 14. And again, if you plug it in, we get 14 minus 11, which is 3. Does that equal 3? Indeed it does, so we've got our correct answer. And my final example for this worksheet that I'm going to do with you is find my variable, subtract 5. Because it's a positive 5, I do the opposite. Subtract 5 on the other side. Those 5s cancel out to be 0. I'm left with y equals 2. And again, we can do 5 plus y equals 7. 5 plus, plug in my 2 instead. Does that equal 7? It absolutely does. So for the one-step equations, it's just as simple as identifying what's being added or subtracted to the variable. Now, these are the most basic of solving equations. These are things that you've probably been seeing for years and years, and sometimes you don't even realize it. But I am going to ask that you pause the video, and I want you to complete questions 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when you're done doing those practice problems, you can resume the video and check your answers with mine. Okay, welcome back. I hope you got 5 through 10 done. Now you can check your answers with mine. Okay, there you have it. Questions 5 through 10. Our answers are 6 equals Q, 10 equals N, R equals 7, 0 equals M, P equals 1, A equals 9. If you had any mistakes, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and try and redo the problem, or maybe ask your teacher or whoever's available to check your work for you. Thanks for watching.
Was it easy? Are you prepared for more? Don't forget to do an extra practice page to really make it good in your brain.